Imagine losing everything in a single night, your empire, your name, your pride, and waking up in the back seat of your car with nothing but the clothes on your back. Sebastian Hale was born into fortune, heir to a real estate dynasty worth billions, raised in marble halls, educated in Europe, groomed to rule. But privilege doesn't prepare you for betrayal, and betrayal came from the one person he trusted most, his own brother. One forged signature, one stolen contract. One board meeting where Sebastian's name was erased from every document that mattered. Can a man who lost everything find himself again, through the one person who saw him when he had nothing? Stay until the end. And if you believe real love is built in the hardest moments, like this video and subscribe. In 48 hours, Sebastian went from penthouse to parking lot. Now 3 months later, he sits in his decade-old sedan, the only thing they couldn't take, parked behind a 24-hour diner on the edge of the city. Rain drums against the roof. The leather seat smells like regret and cheap coffee. His reflection in the rearview mirror is unrecognizable, unshaven, hollow-eyed, wearing the same wrinkled shirt he's worn for days. He tells himself it's temporary, that he'll find a way back, that he'll reclaim what was stolen. But tonight he's just hungry. He counts the coins in his cup holder. $3.60, enough for coffee, maybe a muffin if it's day old. He steps out into the rain, pulls his collar up, and walks into the diner. The warmth hits him first, then the smell, eggs, bacon, burnt toast. His stomach twists. He hasn't eaten a real meal in 2 days. The place is nearly empty. A trucker in the corner booth, an older man reading a newspaper. And behind the counter, a young woman wiping down the coffee station. She looks up when the door chimes. Her eyes are dark, tired, but kind. Her uniform is faded, her apron stained, her hair pulled into a messy ponytail. She's beautiful in a way that has nothing to do with wealth or polish, beautiful in the way that honesty is beautiful. "Sit anywhere," she says softly. Sebastian takes a stool at the counter. He sets his coins down carefully, like they're bills he's trying to stretch. She notices. He sees it in the flicker of her gaze. "Coffee?" she asks. "Please." She pours. Steam rises between them. "Cream?" "Black." She smiles faintly. "Smart. Stronger that way." He wraps his hands around the cup, letting the heat seep into his palms. He doesn't drink yet. He just holds it, like it's the only warmth he has left. She goes back to wiping the counter, but she's watching him. Not with pity, with recognition. Like she knows what it's like to count coins. To measure worth in coffee cups. "Rough night?" she asks quietly. "Rough year?" She nods, doesn't press, just refills his cup without asking. Sebastian looks at her name tag. Clara. "Thank you," he says. "For what?" "For not asking questions." She meets his eyes. Everyone's got a story. Not everyone wants to tell it. Something in his chest loosens. Just a little. He sips the coffee. It's bitter, overbrewed, perfect. "You come here often?" she asks, leaning against the counter. "First time." "You planning to come back?" He hesitates. "Depends." "On what?" "On whether I can afford it." She doesn't laugh, doesn't look away. She just reaches under the counter and pulls out a blueberry muffin, wrapped in plastic, clearly from the day before. She sets it in front of him. "How special," she says. "On me." Sebastian stares at the muffin. His throat tightens. He's received million-dollar contracts with less gratitude than he feels in this moment. "I can't." "You can," she interrupts gently. "And you will, because you look like you need it, and because tomorrow, when things are better, you'll do the same for someone else." Her voice is firm, not charity, a loan of dignity. He nods slowly, unwraps the muffin, takes a bite. It tastes like hope. "I'm Clara," she says. "Sebastian." "Nice to meet you, Sebastian." "You too." She goes back to work, humming softly. The rain outside grows heavier. The diner feels smaller, warmer, safer. And for the first time in months, Sebastian doesn't feel invisible. An hour later, when the rain finally stops, he stands to leave. Clara is restocking napkins near the door. "Same time tomorrow?" she asks, not looking at him. He pauses. "Maybe." "I'll save you a seat." He steps outside. The air smells clean. The city lights reflect in the wet pavement. His car is still there, waiting, still his only home. But something has shifted. Someone saw him, not the air, not the failure, just him. And as he climbs back into the driver's seat, pulling a thin blanket over his shoulders, Sebastian realizes something terrifying. He wants to see her again. Not because she fed him, not because she was kind, but because when she looked at him, she didn't see what he'd lost. She saw what he still was. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough to start rebuilding. But Sebastian doesn't know the truth yet. Clara isn't just a waitress. She's running from something too. And the moment he discovers why she's really there, everything will change. Sebastian returns the next night, and the night after that, and the night after that. It becomes a ritual, a lifeline. Every evening at 11 p.m., he walks into the diner, takes the same stool at the counter, and Clara pours him coffee before he even asks. They don't talk much at first, just small exchanges. Weather, how the coffee tastes, whether the pie is worth trying. But silence between them feels different than silence alone in his car. This silence breathes. On the fourth night, Clara slides a plate across the counter. Scrambled eggs, toast, 2 strips of bacon. "I didn't order. Cook made too much," she says quickly. "It'll just go to waste." Sebastian knows it's a lie. He sees the way she glances toward the kitchen, the way her hands fidget with her apron. But he also knows that pride is all he has left, and she's giving him a way to keep it. "Thank you," he says quietly. She nods, turns away before he can see her smile. He eats slowly. Every bite tastes like kindness. Across the counter, Clara wipes down the coffee maker for the 3rd time. She's nervous. He can tell. Her movements are too deliberate, too focused. "You work every night?" he asks. 6 nights a week." "That's a lot," she shrugs. "Rent doesn't pay itself." "You live nearby?" "Small apartment, 10-minute walk." She pauses. "You?" Sebastian hesitates. The truth sits heavy on his tongue. But something about Clara, the way she doesn't judge, doesn't pry, makes him want to be honest. "My car," he says simply, her hands still. She looks at him, really looks at him. "How long?" 3 months. She doesn't gasp, doesn't offer pity, just nods slowly, like she's calculating something in her head. "Winter's coming," she says quietly. "I know. It gets cold. I know." She turns away, refills the sugar dispensers. Her jaw is tight. He can see her thinking, worrying. "I'm fine," he adds, though they both know it's not true. "You're not," she says softly. "But you will be." There's something in her voice, a certainty that he doesn't feel himself, like she knows something he doesn't, like she sees a future he can't imagine yet. "Why are you so sure?" he asks. She meets his eyes. "Because people who survive the fall, they learn to fly." 2 weeks pass. Sebastian starts looking for work during the day. Anything. Construction. Warehouse shifts, dishwashing. But every application asks for an address, references, stability. Things he doesn't have. At night, he returns to the diner, to Clara, to the only place that feels like it still has room for him. One night she's reading a book during the slow hours. He catches the title, East of Eden. "Steinbeck," he says. She looks up, surprised. "You've read it?" "Twice." Her face lights up. What did you think of Kathy? A monster who knew exactly what she was. And Cal? A man trying to escape his father's shadow. Clara leans forward, eyes bright. See, I think Cal's story is about choice, about breaking cycles. And just like that, they're talking, really talking about books, about stories, about characters who struggle and fail and rise again. Sebastian realizes with a sharp pang that he hasn't had a conversation like this in years, not with his family, not with his colleagues. Everyone in his old life talked at him. Clara talks with him. You're different than I thought, she says eventually. How so? You're softer, more curious. She tilts her head. What did you do before? He tenses, the question he's been avoiding. I worked in real estate. Did you like it? No one's ever asked him that before. I thought I did, he says slowly, but I think I just liked being good at it. What would you do now, if you could do anything? He laughs bitterly. I don't get to choose. But if you could. He looks at her. At the earnestness in her face, the belief that choices still matter. I don't know, he admits. Maybe something that helps people, something real. She smiles. Then you will. How do you know? Because you're still here, still trying. That counts for something. 3 nights later, Sebastian arrives at the diner and finds Clara in the parking lot, standing beside his car. Her arms are crossed. Her expression is worried. Clara? She turns. Her eyes are red, like she's been crying. I can't do this anymore, she says. His heart stops. Do what? Watch you live like this, sleep in your car, pretend you're okay. I am okay. You're not. Her voice cracks. You're freezing. You're barely eating. And She stops, takes a breath. My couch. It's not much, but it's warm. And it's yours if you need it. Sebastian stares at her. I can't accept that. Why not? Because I'm a stranger. You're not, she says firmly. Not anymore. The air between them hums with something unspoken, something fragile and fierce. Clara, I don't have anything to give you. I'm not asking for anything. Then why? She looks at him like the answer should be obvious. Because someone helped me once, when I had nothing, when I was running and scared and alone. Her voice drops to a whisper, and I swore that if I ever got the chance, I'd do the same. Sebastian's throat tightens. Who were you running from? Clara's face closes. The light in her eyes dims. That's a story for another night. She turns and walks back toward the diner. Sebastian stands in the cold parking lot, heart pounding, mind racing. She's offering him shelter, safety, a way out of the dark. But something in her voice when she said running, something that sounded like fear. What is Clara hiding? And why does Sebastian feel like accepting her help? Might put them both in danger. Sebastian moves into Clara's apartment on a Tuesday night. It's a small studio on the 3rd floor of a building that smells like old carpet, and someone else is cooking. The walls are thin. The heater rattles. The couch sags in the middle where too many people have sat for too many years. But it's warm. Clara shows him where the blankets are, how the shower handle sticks, which floorboard creaks. She moves through the space with practiced efficiency, like she's done this before, prepared a place for someone fleeing something. She doesn't ask him questions, doesn't hover, just sets a pillow on the couch, leaves a towel folded on the armrest, and retreats to her bedroom with a quiet goodnight. Sebastian sits on the couch in the dark, listening to the building settle around him. Pipes groaning, footsteps overhead, the distant hum of traffic. For the first time in months, he's not cold. For the first time in months, he's terrified, because accepting help means owing something. And owing something means vulnerability. And vulnerability means someone can hurt you. He's learned that lesson well. The first week is awkward. They move around each other like dancers learning a new rhythm. Clara leaves for the diner at 10 p.m. Sebastian pretends to sleep until he hears the door close. Then he lies awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why she's being so kind to a man she barely knows. During the day, he searches for work, fills out applications, walks the city until his feet ache, comes back empty-handed. Every evening he tries to leave before Clara wakes, tries not to be a burden. But she always emerges from her bedroom just as he's reaching for the door, hair messy, eyes still heavy with sleep. She never asks where he's going, just nods, hands him a thermos of coffee. One morning he finds $20 tucked into the thermos cap. He tries to return it that night. She refuses to take it back. They stand in the tiny kitchen, the money sitting between them on the counter like an accusation. Sebastian's jaw tightens. His pride burns hot in his chest. He wants to tell her he doesn't need charity, that he's not some project she can fix, that he's a man who once controlled boardrooms and signed contracts worth millions. But Clara just looks at him with those dark, tired, impossibly kind eyes, and he takes the money, because sometimes survival matters more than pride. The second week, things shift. Sebastian starts cleaning the apartment while Clara sleeps, washes dishes, sweeps floors, fixes the leaky faucet she's been ignoring for months. It's not payment, he knows that, but it's something, a way to balance the scales, a way to feel useful. One afternoon, Clara wakes early and finds him replacing a broken cabinet hinge. She leans against the doorframe, watching him work. He can feel her gaze on his back, warm, curious. When he finishes, she steps closer, runs her hand along the smooth closing cabinet door. Her fingers linger on the wood. She doesn't say thank you, doesn't need to. The way she looks at the repaired cabinet says everything. That night she cooks dinner, nothing fancy. Pasta with jarred sauce, garlic bread, but she sets 2 plates on the small table by the window, a silent invitation. They eat together for the first time. The meal is quiet, comfortable. Outside, the city glows amber and blue. Inside, the apartment feels smaller, more intimate. Sebastian watches Clara twirl pasta on her fork, her movements careful and practiced. She eats like someone who's known hunger, who never wastes a bite. He recognizes it because he started eating the same way. After dinner, they sit on the couch. She turns on an old movie, something black and white, romantic, slow, the kind of film that doesn't demand attention, just fills the silence with soft voices and violin strings. Halfway through, Clara falls asleep. Her head tips sideways, resting against the couch cushion. Her breathing deepens, slows. In sleep, the worry lines around her eyes soften. She looks younger, almost peaceful. Sebastian should move, should give her space, should retreat to his side of the couch. Instead, he sits very still, watching her, wondering what she's running from. Wondering why someone this good at caring for broken things is living alone in a cramped apartment, working night shifts at a diner, trusting strangers with her only safe space. Her phone buzzes on the coffee table. Sebastian glances at it instinctively. The screen lights up with a text preview. Unknown number. I know where you are. His blood runs cold. Clara stirs slightly but doesn't wake. Sebastian stares at the message. His mind races. Every protective instinct he thought he'd lost roars back to life. Someone is looking for her, someone who shouldn't find her. And suddenly, Sebastian understands. The way she works only night shifts, the way she never mentions family or friends, the way she flinches when cars brake too loudly outside, the way she keeps her curtains drawn even during the day. Clara isn't just kind, Clara is hiding, and whoever she's hiding from just found her. Sebastian doesn't tell her about the message. Not that night, not the next morning. He tells himself it's because he doesn't want to scare her, because maybe it's nothing, a wrong number, a coincidence. But deep down, he knows the truth. He doesn't tell her, because if he does, she'll run again. And he can't let that happen, not when he's only just found something worth protecting. The days take on a new tension. Sebastian starts paying attention, watching the street below, noting which cars appear too often, which faces linger too long outside the building. He doesn't know who he's looking for, but he'll know them when he sees them, because men who hunt people have a specific look in their eyes. He used to see it in boardrooms, in his brother's face during that last meeting, the look of someone who takes what they want and destroys what stands in their way. Sebastian knows that look, and when it comes for Clara, he'll be ready. But what he doesn't know, what he can't know yet, is that being ready won't be enough. Because the man looking for Clara isn't just dangerous, he's someone from Sebastian's past too. Someone who's been waiting for the perfect moment to destroy them both. The hunter is closing in, and the truth about why Clara helped Sebastian is darker than either of them imagined. The message comes again 3 days later. Sebastian sees it while Clara is in the shower. Her phone sits on the kitchen counter, screen glowing in the early morning light. Unknown number. You can't hide forever. His hands curl into fists. Every muscle in his body tightens with a fury he hasn't felt since the day his brother stole everything from him. Whoever this is, whoever's threatening her, they're playing a game, toying with her fear, making her look over her shoulder, making her live in constant dread. Sebastian deletes the message before Clara sees it. He knows it's wrong, knows he's overstepping, but he also knows what terror does to people, how it hollows them out from the inside, how it makes them run until there's nowhere left to go. Clara has given him shelter when the world turned its back. The least he can do is give her peace, even if she doesn't know she needs protecting. That night, Sebastian follows Clara to work. He stays far enough back that she won't notice. Watches as she walks the 10-minute route to the diner, her shoulders hunched against the cold, her pace quick but not panicked. She doesn't look behind her, doesn't check the shadows. She's trained herself not to see the danger because seeing it makes it real. Sebastian understands that instinct, the need to pretend everything's normal, that safety is more than just an illusion you tell yourself at night. He positions himself across the street from the diner, finds a coffee shop with windows facing the entrance, orders something he doesn't drink, sits where he can see everyone who comes and goes. Hours pass. Truckers, night shift workers, a couple fighting quietly in a corner booth. No one dangerous, no one hunting. But at 2 a.m. a black sedan pulls up outside the diner. It idles there, engine running, windows tinted too dark to see inside. Sebastian's entire body goes rigid. The car sits there for 5 minutes, 10, 15, then it drives away. But Sebastian knows what he saw, the way it lingered, the way it watched. That wasn't someone looking for late-night coffee. That was reconnaissance. When Clara's shift ends at 6 a.m., Sebastian is already waiting outside, hidden in the alcove of a closed shop, making sure she gets home safely. She doesn't see him, doesn't know he's there, and he doesn't tell her, because the moment he does, he'll have to explain why he was watching, why he deleted her messages, why he's inserting himself into a danger he doesn't fully understand. So he stays silent, and the weight of that silence grows heavier every day. Clara knows something is wrong. Sebastian can see it in the way she moves through the apartment now, more cautious, more aware. She checks the locks twice before bed, keeps her phone close, startles at sounds that never bothered her before. One evening, Sebastian finds her standing by the window, staring down at the street. Her arms are wrapped around herself. Her reflection in the glass looks small, fragile. He wants to go to her, wants to ask what she's afraid of, wants to tell her she's not alone. But the distance between them feels impossibly wide. She turns before he can speak, forces a smile that doesn't reach her eyes, moves past him to the kitchen, starts making tea with hands that shake just slightly. Sebastian watches the tremor in her fingers, watches her spill water, watches her press her palms flat against the counter and take a slow, steadying breath. She's breaking, and he doesn't know how to catch her. The next night, Sebastian doesn't go to the coffee shop. He goes to the library. uses the public computers to search for information. He doesn't know Clara's last name, doesn't know where she came from, but he knows patterns, knows how to find connections, spent years in boardrooms reading people, identifying weaknesses, following paper trails. He starts with missing persons reports, domestic violence cases, women who disappeared and remade themselves in new cities. It takes hours. The library is quiet except for the hum of fluorescent lights and the click of keyboards. Sebastian's eyes burn from staring at the screen, but he doesn't stop. And then he finds it. A news article from 2 years ago. Small town, barely made regional news. Local woman escapes abusive relationship. Boyfriend still at large. The photo is grainy, taken from a distance, but Sebastian would recognize those eyes anywhere. Clara, her real name is Emma Reeves, and the man hunting her, the man who sent those messages, is Marcus Hale, Sebastian's brother. The world tilts, his vision blurs, his breath catches in his throat. It can't be, it can't be. But the article explains everything. How Marcus Hale, rising star in the real estate empire, had a girlfriend who suddenly vanished. How he reported her missing. How he played the devastated lover on local news. How no one believed her when she finally came forward, because Marcus was charming, wealthy, connected, and Emma, Clara, had nothing. So she ran, changed her name, changed her life, found a city where no one knew her face, and somehow impossibly she found Sebastian, the brother of the man who destroyed her. Sebastian sits in the library, staring at the screen, his entire body numb. She doesn't know. She can't know. If she knew who he really was and whose brother he is, she would never have helped him. She would have run the moment she learned his last name. And now, Marcus has found her. Which means Marcus knows Sebastian is alive, knows where he is, which means this was never about Clara alone. Marcus is coming for both of them. And Sebastian has to decide, does he tell Clara the truth and shatter the only trust he has left, or does he stay silent and protect her from a nightmare that's always been connected to him? Sebastian thought he'd lost everything to his brother, but he was wrong, because now Marcus is coming to take the one thing Sebastian never knew he had, something worth fighting for. Sebastian doesn't sleep that night. He sits on Clara's couch in the dark, staring at the wall, his mind spinning through every terrible possibility. Marcus knows where they are. Marcus has been watching, and worse, far worse. Sebastian brought this danger to Clara's door without even knowing it. She saved him, fed him, gave him shelter when he had nothing, and he repaid her by leading a monster straight to her hiding place. The guilt is suffocating. Dawn breaks slowly through the thin curtains. Grey light spills across the apartment. Clara's bedroom door remains closed. She's still asleep, still unaware that the life she built from ashes is about to burn again. Sebastian stands, moves to the window, looks down at the street below. The black sedan is parked 2 blocks away, waiting. His jaw tightens, his hands clench at his sides. Every instinct screams at him to run, to disappear before Marcus connects the dots, before the brother who destroyed him once finishes the job. But Sebastian doesn't move, because running means leaving Clara alone, and leaving Clara alone means she dies. Not quickly, not cleanly. Marcus doesn't work that way. Sebastian knows his brother, knows the cruelty that hides beneath expensive suits and practiced smiles, knows how Marcus dismantles people slowly, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but fear and obedience. He did it to their father, to business rivals, to anyone who stood in his way, and he tried to do it to Clara. But she escaped, and men like Marcus don't forgive escape. Sebastian presses his forehead against the cold glass. His reflection stares back, hollow-eyed, unshaven, worn down by months of survival. But beneath the exhaustion, something else stirs. Something he thought he'd lost forever. Purpose. Clara wakes at noon, emerges from her bedroom wrapped in an oversized sweater, hair messy, eyes still heavy with sleep. She finds Sebastian in the kitchen, cooking eggs. Coffee already brewed. Toast waiting. She stops in the doorway. Surprised. Cautious. He doesn't look at her, just slides a plate across the small counter. She sits slowly, studies his face. He can feel her trying to read him, trying to understand why the air feels different today, heavier, charged with something unspoken. They eat in silence. Sebastian watches her from the corner of his eye, watches the way she chews slowly, thoughtfully, the way her fingers wrap around her coffee mug like it's an anchor. He memorizes the details, the curve of her jaw, the small scar above her left eyebrow, the way she tucks her hair behind her ear when she's thinking. Because if his plan fails, if Marcus gets to them first, he wants to remember this. Her, the quiet morning light, the last moment before everything shatters. Clara sets down her fork, meets his eyes. She doesn't ask what's wrong, doesn't push. But her expression says she knows. That whatever brought him to her doorstep 3 months ago, whatever he's been running from, has finally caught up. Sebastian wants to tell her everything, wants to confess who he is, whose brother he is, how he's tangled in her nightmare without meaning to be. But the words stick in his throat, because telling her the truth means losing her, and he's not ready for that. Not yet. So instead, he reaches across the table, takes her hand. Her fingers are warm, small. They fit perfectly in his palm. She doesn't pull away, just looks at their joined hands with an expression Sebastian can't quite name. Something between hope and resignation. Like she's been waiting for this moment, but dreading it at the same time. He squeezes gently, a promise he can't put into words. Then he lets go. That evening, Sebastian waits until Clara leaves for work. Then he walks out of the apartment building and crosses the street, straight toward the black sedan. The window rolls down before he reaches it. Marcus sits in the driver's seat, perfectly groomed, expensive watch, tailored coat. He looks exactly the same as he did the day he stole everything, except for his eyes. His eyes burn with something cold and hungry. Sebastian stops 3 feet from the car, stands in the middle of the empty street, doesn't flinch. Marcus smiles, the kind of smile that makes boardrooms go quiet. He doesn't speak, doesn't need to. The message is clear. I found you. I've always known where you were. I've been waiting for the perfect moment. Sebastian holds his brother's gaze, and in that moment, everything becomes crystal clear. Marcus didn't just stumble upon Clara, didn't just happen to track her to this city. He orchestrated this, set it in motion months ago, maybe even before he destroyed Sebastian. Because Marcus doesn't just want to win, he wants to obliterate. And what better way to break Sebastian completely than to take the one person who showed him kindness? To prove that even in his lowest moment, Sebastian brings ruin to everyone he touches? It's brilliant, cruel, perfectly calculated. Classic Marcus. Sebastian takes 1 step closer to the car, leans down, looks his brother directly in the eye, and speaks the first words he's said to Marcus in 3 months. They're not a plea, not a negotiation, not a surrender. They're a declaration. A line drawn in concrete, a promise wrapped in steel. Marcus's smile falters, just slightly, just enough. Because for the first time in their lives, Marcus sees something in Sebastian's eyes that he's never seen before, something that makes him realize he miscalculated, that the broken man he's been hunting isn't broken anymore, that taking everything from someone can create something far more dangerous than an enemy. It can create someone with nothing left to lose. Sebastian straightens, steps back from the car. Marcus's window rises slowly. The engine starts, but before the sedan pulls away, Sebastian sees it, just for a second, in his brother's expression. Doubt. The black car disappears around the corner. Sebastian stands alone in the street, heart pounding, fists clenched, every muscle coiled tight. He just declared war on the most dangerous man he knows, a man with unlimited resources, connections, power. But Sebastian has something Marcus doesn't understand. Something that can't be bought or stolen or destroyed. He has a reason to fight. The war has begun, but neither brother knows the truth. Clara has been planning her own move all along, and when she makes it, everything changes. Sebastian returns to the apartment and begins to plan. He has no money, no allies, no legal recourse. Everything Marcus took from him included the network of lawyers, contacts, and power that might have helped him fight back. But Sebastian has something else. He has 3 months of sleeping in his car, 3 months of learning what survival really means, 3 months of watching people, really watching them, without the filter of wealth and privilege. And he has rage, not the hot, explosive kind, the cold, patient kind, the kind that builds strategies in the dark, the kind that waits for the perfect moment. He starts by retracing every step Marcus took to destroy him. The forged documents, the manipulated board votes, the accounts drained just hours before Sebastian could access them. Marcus was thorough, but thorough leaves traces. Sebastian spends his days in libraries and internet cafes, piecing together the paper trail Marcus thought he'd buried. He uses free legal databases, calls in favors from the few people who remember him before the fall, digs through public records with the patience of someone who has nothing but time. Slowly, a picture emerges. Marcus didn't just steal the company. He's been bleeding it dry, funneling money into offshore accounts, taking loans against assets he doesn't truly own, building a house of cards that looks solid from the outside but will collapse the moment someone applies pressure in the right place. Sebastian knows where that pressure point is, but using it means exposing himself, means stepping back into the world that destroyed him, means risking everything on a single move. And if he fails, Marcus won't just take the company. He'll take Clara. Clara knows something has changed in Sebastian. She sees it in the way he moves through the apartment now. Purposeful, focused, like a man who's found his footing after months of drowning. She watches him late at night, hunched over a borrowed laptop, typing with an intensity that makes his jaw tight and his eyes burn. He doesn't tell her what he's working on, doesn't explain the notebooks filled with numbers and names, doesn't mention the phone calls he takes in hushed tones outside the building. And Clara doesn't ask, because she has her own secrets, her own plan. One night, after Sebastian falls asleep on the couch, exhausted from whatever war he's fighting, Clara opens her laptop. She navigates to a folder buried deep in her files, protected by 3 layers of encryption, containing every piece of evidence she collected during her 2 years with Marcus Hale. Photos of bruises hidden beneath designer clothes, audio recordings of threats whispered in the dark, bank statements showing how he paid off police officers and judges, emails detailing deals that crossed every legal and moral line. Clara didn't run empty-handed. She ran with ammunition. She's been waiting 2 years for the right moment to use it, waiting until she was far enough away, safe enough, strong enough. But the right moment never came. Because using the evidence meant revealing where she was, meant painting a target on her back, meant trusting a system that failed her once and would likely fail her again. So she stayed hidden, stayed quiet, stayed alive, until Sebastian appeared. Until Marcus found her anyway. Until staying quiet stopped being survival and started being surrender. Clara stares at the files on her screen, years of pain compressed into gigabytes of data. She thinks about the woman she was before Marcus, bright, ambitious, full of dreams about opening her own restaurant, about creating something beautiful with her hands. She thinks about the woman she became during those 2 years, small, careful, apologizing for breathing too loud. And she thinks about the woman she is now, scarred, hardened, but still standing, still capable of kindness, still capable of seeing a broken man in a diner and offering him a muffin, still capable of hope. Clara closes the laptop, makes a decision. Tomorrow she'll tell Sebastian everything, who she really is, why she helped him, what she's been hiding, and then they'll decide together, not as victim and rescuer, not as stranger and stranger, but as two people who survived the same monster in different ways, as equals, as partners, as something that feels dangerously close to family. But morning comes with violence. Sebastian wakes to the sound of the apartment door slamming open, heavy boots on hardwood, voices shouting commands. He's on his feet instantly, adrenaline flooding his system. 3 men in dark suits fill the small space. Not police, private security, the kind Marcus employs to handle problems that need to disappear quietly. Clara emerges from her bedroom, eyes wide with terror. One of the men moves toward her. Sebastian doesn't think, doesn't plan, just moves. He's across the room in 3 strides, plants himself between Clara and the advancing threat. His body becomes a wall, a barrier, a promise written in flesh and bone. The man stops, smirks, reaches inside his jacket, but he doesn't pull a gun. He pulls an envelope, drops it at Sebastian's feet. The 3 men leave as quickly as they came. The door swings shut behind them. The lock clicks with terrible finality. Sebastian and Clara stand frozen in the sudden silence. Then Sebastian bends, picks up the envelope with hands that don't shake. Inside, a single sheet of paper, expensive stationery, Marcus's personal letterhead. The message is short, precise, devastating. Tonight, 8 p.m., the office you used to call yours. Come alone, or I press charges against Emma for theft and fraud. She'll spend the next decade in prison. Your choice, little brother. Sebastian reads it twice. The words don't change. He looks up at Clara. She's staring at him, at the paper in his hands, at the name written there in black ink. Emma, her real name. The name she's been hiding for 2 years. The name only one person in this city should know. Understanding crashes over her face, then betrayal, then horror. She takes a step back, then another. Her voice comes out broken, shattered. One word, one question, one accusation. Hail? Sebastian reaches for her. She flinches away like he's burned her. And in that moment, Sebastian watches everything he's built with Clara, every morning coffee, every repaired hinge, every quiet moment of trust, collapse into ash. Because she finally knows the truth. The man she saved is the brother of the man who destroyed her. And forgiveness for that kind of betrayal, that doesn't exist. Sebastian has 8 hours to stop Marcus, but first he has to convince Clara that some sins can be redeemed. Clara doesn't scream, doesn't cry, doesn't rage. She just stares at Sebastian with eyes that have gone completely cold, empty, like every light inside her just went out. And somehow, that's worse than any anger could be. Sebastian stands in the middle of the apartment, the letter still in his hand, searching desperately for words that might bridge the impossible distance between them. But what words exist for this? What explanation makes sense? Clara speaks first. Her voice is flat, mechanical. She asks him when he knew, when he figured out who she was, when he realized his brother was hunting her. Sebastian tells her the truth. 4 days ago, the library, the article. She nods slowly, processing, calculating, then asks why he didn't tell her. Because he was afraid she'd run. Because he wanted to protect her. Because he thought he could fix this before she ever had to know. Clara laughs. It's a terrible sound, brittle and broken. She tells him that men like him, men like Marcus, always think they know what's best, always think they can control everything, always think protection and possession are the same thing. Sebastian tries to explain that's not what this is, that he's nothing like his brother, that everything he's done has been to keep her safe, But Clara shakes her head, steps back toward her bedroom. Her voice cracks when she speaks again. She tells him that Marcus used to say the same things, used to promise protection, used to make decisions for her own good, used to isolate her from everyone who might help her escape. And now Sebastian, the man she trusted, the man she fed and sheltered and believed in, has been lying to her for days, making choices about her life without her knowledge, playing the same game with a different face. The accusation lands like a physical blow. Sebastian opens his mouth to argue, to defend himself, to explain the difference, but the words die in his throat. Because she's right. He kept secrets, made unilateral decisions, decided what she could and couldn't know. All in the name of protection, just like Marcus probably did in the beginning. The realization makes him sick. Clara disappears into her bedroom, emerges 3 minutes later with a backpack, packed, ready. The same bag she probably keeps prepared for moments exactly like this. Sebastian moves toward her, desperate, pleading. He tells her she can't run, that Marcus will find her, that she's safer here where Sebastian can help. Clara stops at the door, turns, looks at him with something that might be pity, or might be contempt, or might be exhaustion, so deep it's erased the difference. She tells him she's been running for 2 years. She knows how to disappear, knows how to survive. What she doesn't know is how to trust men who think loving her means controlling her. The door closes behind her. Sebastian stands alone in the empty apartment, listening to her footsteps fade down the hallway. He could follow, could chase her, could try to convince her, but he doesn't, because she's right about everything, and the only way to prove he's different from Marcus is to let her go. To give her the one thing his brother never would: choice. 7 hours until Marcus's deadline. Sebastian sits on Clara's couch, the same couch where he slept for weeks, where she showed him kindness without condition, and makes his own choice. He's going to the meeting, going to face his brother, going to end this, not for revenge, not for justice, not even for himself, for Clara. Because if he can destroy Marcus tonight, expose the fraud, collapse the house of cards, ensure his brother faces consequences for once in his miserable life, then maybe Clara can finally stop running. Maybe she can build a life without looking over her shoulder. Maybe she can find peace, even if Sebastian isn't part of it. He opens his laptop, sends a dozen emails, attaches every piece of evidence he's collected over the past weeks, sends copies to journalists, prosecutors, regulatory agencies, sets them to deliver automatically at 9 p.m., 1 hour after the meeting starts. Insurance, in case Marcus tries something permanent. Then Sebastian showers, shaves for the first time in months, finds the one decent shirt he still owns, looks at himself in the mirror. He barely recognizes the man staring back, thinner, harder, older, but also clearer, more focused, more himself than he's been in years. At 7:45 p.m., Sebastian leaves the apartment, walks through the city streets toward the building that used to be his, the office that used to bear his name, the empire he thought defined him. It all feels very small now. The lobby is empty. The elevator rises in silence. The top floor is dark except for one office at the end of the hall, his old office. The door is open. Marcus sits behind the massive desk, framed by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering city. He looks exactly like Sebastian remembers, confident, untouchable, in control. Sebastian walks in, stands in front of the desk, doesn't sit. Marcus smiles, offers him a drink, asks if he's reconsidered coming back to the family, suggests they can work something out if Sebastian promises to behave. The condescension is breathtaking. Sebastian lets him talk, lets him perform, lets him reveal every arrogant assumption. Then when Marcus finally pauses, expecting capitulation or rage or pleading, Sebastian speaks. He tells Marcus that the emails have already been sent, that by tomorrow morning, every crime Marcus has committed will be public knowledge, that the empire built on fraud and cruelty is about to collapse. Marcus's smile doesn't falter. He asks if Sebastian really thinks anyone will believe a disgraced heir with no credibility. Sebastian tells him they don't have to believe him. They just have to follow the money, and the money trail is irrefutable. For the first time, Marcus's expression flickers. Uncertainty, calculation, the realization that he miscalculated. He stands, moves around the desk, tries intimidation, tries threats, tries to remind Sebastian of everything he's lost and everything he still stands to lose. But Sebastian doesn't move, doesn't flinch, because he's already lost everything that mattered and found something worth more in the wreckage. Marcus raises his hand. Sebastian braces for the blow. It doesn't come. Instead, sirens rise from the street below. Red and blue lights flood the office. Doors slam in the hallway. Voices shout commands. Sebastian's emails didn't wait until 9 p.m. He sent them at 7:30, because trusting Marcus to play fair would have been the real mistake. Federal agents pour into the office, read Marcus his rights, place handcuffs on wrists that have never known restraint. Marcus stares at Sebastian with pure hatred, promises this isn't over, swears revenge, but his voice sounds hollow, desperate, powerless. Sebastian watches his brother dragged away, feels nothing, no satisfaction, no triumph, just emptiness. He won, and it doesn't matter, because the person he wanted to protect is gone. 3 months later, Sebastian stands outside a small restaurant in a different city, 3 states away. He found it through careful, patient searching, following the kind of clues only someone who knows Clara would recognize. A diner hiring experienced waitstaff, owned by a woman who values kindness over credentials, in a town small enough to disappear in but large enough to hide. He's not here to ask her to come back, not here to apologize again, not here to explain or justify or convince. He's here to give her something. An envelope, legal documents inside, proof that Marcus has been arrested, that the charges are sticking, that Clara, Emma, can finally stop running, can reclaim her real name, can build a life in daylight instead of shadow. He slides the envelope under the restaurant door just before dawn, doesn't knock, doesn't wait, just leaves it there, with a note. You were right about everything. Thank you for teaching me what kindness looks like. I hope you find the peace you deserve. Sebastian. He walks back to his car, a different car now, purchased with money from the lawsuit settlement, and drives away. He doesn't look back, because loving someone sometimes means letting them go, means trusting them to choose their own path, means accepting that redemption doesn't always come with reconciliation. Sebastian returns to his new apartment, small, modest, earned through honest work at a non-profit helping people rebuild after financial crisis. People like him. People who lost everything and need someone who understands. He makes coffee, watches the sunrise, thinks about Clara and wonders if she's watching the same sky. His phone buzzes. Unknown number. His heart stops. The message is short. 3 words. Thank you. See. Sebastian stares at the screen, reads it again. Again. It's not forgiveness, not reconciliation, not a promise of anything. But it's acknowledgement, connection, a door left open instead of slammed shut. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes redemption isn't about getting back what you lost. It's about becoming someone worthy of a second chance, even if that chance never comes. 6 months later, Sebastian is closing the non-profit office when someone knocks on the door. He turns. Clara stands on the other side of the glass. Different haircut, brighter eyes, wearing an apron with a logo he doesn't recognize. She's holding 2 cups of coffee. He opens the door. They stand there, not speaking, just looking at each other. She hands him a cup. He takes it. Their fingers brush. She tells him she opened her restaurant, that it's small but growing, that she's finally building the dream she thought Marcus destroyed. He tells her he's proud of her, means it completely. She asks if he's busy, if maybe he'd like to see the place, if maybe they could talk. Not about the past, about the future, about what two people who survived the same storm might build together, slowly, carefully, with honesty instead of secrets, with choice instead of control, with love that looks like freedom. Sebastian says yes. They walk out together into the evening light, side by side, equal, healing, home. If this story touched you, rate it 0 to 10 in the comments. And remember, real love isn't about saving someone, it's about standing beside them while they save themselves.